What's happening? So, I'm going to talk a little bit about Sony. I really was not planning on this. I just happened to hear some news. Um, First off, look, that PS4 Pro is in competition against the Xbox One Slim. I'm going to point out every which way that that is a true thing, okay? Xbox One Slim exists because the Xbox One in of itself was a disaster. Okay, the Xbox One was a VCR that nobody wanted. It had a giant brick, more horrendous than the other thing, and setting this thing up in any kind of entertainment center was just disaster. Um, Now, granted, I did get one of those for my girlfriend because she's a huge Xbox fan. She loves Xbox. I own I did own a Halo 5 Guardians Edition, the silverish blue model, because it actually looked nice. And then I bought a Slim. I bought a Gears of War 4 Slim that I did an unboxing video of, which you can go check out. Um, and the reason I got that is because it's a beautiful blood, gory red piece of fucking machinery. Um, but the Xbox One Slim was a upgrade by shrinking the Xbox One down. They also upgraded it. Okay, you got that big ugly brick they put into it. Um, so there's no brick anymore. It's like the original Xbox. You didn't have a brick on that. Everything's inside the machine. You got a 4K Blu-ray player. They have HDR on some of their games. They have 4K upscale on some of their games. You got 4K streaming with Netflix and Hulu. Um, they took the Connect away. They took the Connect port out of this machine, but they did add in a feature where you can get it back as well if you really want it. Um, that's from the stuff that I know off the top of my head. Now, that sounds awfully familiar to the PS4 Pro, right? Like, let's run down the list of what the PS4 Pro does. 4K upscaling or checkerboard rendering, HDR gaming, although there's no 4K Blu-ray player in there. It does 4K video streaming. It sounds a lot like a Xbox One Slim, minus a few features. Um, so, I mean, they did do a few little extra tidbits with the controller, but I mean, there's no light bar, which will kill the battery of an Xbox One controller fast. I mean, the Xbox One controller battery lasts longer than the PS4 because there's no fucking light bar on there. Um, Now, that being said, you see why the PS4 Pro is in competition with the Xbox One Slim, because the Xbox One Slim is a hair bit more powerful than the base model Xbox One. Um, Now, the PS4 Pro does have a problem. They came out with something called a boost mode, and I've made fun of this boost where you at mode because the way Sony promoted this thing, it sounded like, hey, out the box, it's gonna run your game smoother, it's gonna have less frame rate drops, all around gonna be a better beast mode machine. But it needed a patch in order to be the better boost moded fucking machine. Which to me sounded like Sony had lied from the beginning. But I kind of expected that because Sony has been lying to us for many generations. I mean, for fuck's sakes. They had to pay Nintendo last generation for basically copying their fucking controller. And anyone who says that's not true and who blatantly tells you that their Move controllers look nothing like the Wii controllers is on some heavy crack, okay? Just stop lying to yourself. Those things look exactly like Wii controllers with just a giant light bulb on top. Anybody could have mistaken those for Wii controllers. You're fooling yourself just because, oh, it was a circle instead of a square. No. Why do you think Nintendo won? Okay, even the judge was like, you're full of shit, Sony. Okay? Now, I want you to understand something. PlayStation Now, I've never liked. I've never liked PlayStation Now. I thought it was a piece of shit when it came out because I was like, you do realize you can play DVDs in a Blu-ray player. And I don't understand, why is it you can't play your Blu-ray games in your current Blu-ray game player? Meaning PS3 games in your PS4. I've never understood that. Why are you charging people to play shit that they've already paid for? You get what I mean? Like, why are you charging people to pay to play their massive fucking collection they already bought? Makes no fucking sense to me. I've been against this since day one. Okay? Personally, I think PlayStation Now should be part of the subscription fee that we have to pay now for PlayStation Plus if they want it. Okay? Because what the fuck are you paying to play games that you already bought for? Especially when all they're doing is remastering last gen's greatest hits and charging you full retail value for you to own the same fucking games with the word remastered on. Get what I mean? Sony, this is why I don't believe you deserve half the credit you get this generation. You're a piece of shit. At least over at Xbox, they design games for the Xbox One and then they dummy it down to be on last gen. That's something you could learn from. You won't, but you should. And it looks like Sony is taking PlayStation Now away from a few devices. Not because people aren't subscribed to it, but because Sony doesn't have the money to support PlayStation Now. And I've talked about Sony's financial struggles in the past. I've said PlayStation is the only thing making money, and it's true. The fact they're having to close down divisions of PlayStation should be a huge, huge sign. We can't have PlayStation Now on the Vita. Red flag. That's one of the 4 things that are on the market right fucking now that they need to be supporting. Can't be on the PS3. Well, that's last gen's fucking technology. And it's supposedly still fucking running perfectly fine. Should be another red fucking flag up. Because you can still go to Walmart and buy a fucking PS3. So technically there's 5 fucking things on the market you can buy from Sony. Red fucking flag number 2. PlayStation is hurting for money. Because again, 5 fucking items on the market. In case you missed my other video called PlayStation becoming the next fucking Sega, it's 100% true. Xbox has 2 things. Xbox One and Xbox 360. And Nintendo is dropping the Wii U as soon as the Switch comes out in a week. They're not going to have anything for it. People will play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild either on the Switch or the Wii U. I'm going to get both of them and I'll play both of them. But as soon as the Switch is out, games are not going to be released on the fucking Wii U anymore. Pardon me, which means you will have games being released for the 3DS and the Switch. Now, I don't know if that's a smart move or not, but that means they're only going to have 2 devices. Sony has 5. 5 fucking devices. And you wonder why I keep saying it's game over for Sony. And I haven't even talked about that little fucking Sony TV thing, that little piece of shit Vita knockoff they came out with. Yeah, that would make 6. They have way too many fucking products. Way too fucking many. Because Sony has put so much bank on PlayStation instead of going, maybe don't bank everything on PlayStation. We do have televisions, fucking cell phones, Blu-ray players, 4K Blu-ray players, everything else in here. Maybe push those too. Maybe see if we can't move a couple million units of those, like we move a couple million units of the PS4. This is why I keep saying they're gonna go bankrupt. They're gonna end up closing their doors. Because if all you're doing is selling PlayStation and nothing over here is moving, and you are a company with all this technology and none of it's fucking moving, you're gonna have to sell off this. Your patents. You're gonna have to sell them off to somebody. And then what you get from that is gonna be able to support this, but for how fucking long? You're just gonna be dragging this, and it's gonna be a slow, painful, sad story to watch. And you're gonna watch it decline. And nobody wants to see that. And the first thing to happen is PlayStation Now shutting down. Whether it's on the Vita, PS3, or even the PS4 Pro, PS4 and the PS4 Pro, even when that happens. That is sad to see. And you'd be like, oh, that's not going to happen. Is it not? Because it's already happened to the PS3 and the PS Vita. So before you say it's not going to happen, they've taken away from the PS3 and the PS Vita, which are not dead systems. People still play on both of them. So it can fucking happen. And just because it can means it just fucking might. And if you have to sell off your merchandise that you need to be pushing to continually make income to support this, that is a slow, painful fucking death. You see how one affects the other? Especially if you don't push this one so this one can continue to sell easily while this one's selling easily. If you don't continue to make both of them fucking work for each other. It's fucking common sense, man. Especially when you're a big electronics conglomerate like Sony. You have televisions, DVD players, Blu-ray players, 4K Blu-ray players. You make Blu-rays. You have TV shows, TV studios, movies, animation studios. If you don't make all those things actually move products, sell products, push them out, and all you're doing is worrying about PlayStation, you're going to end up selling all that shit out, and you're going to move it to somewhere else. You're going to end up selling it to someone else. And then you're going to end up putting all that money into PlayStation. And while PlayStation is doing good for a little bit, that money will dry up. And PlayStation is going to start needing something else. It's going to start needing something else. And then you're going to run out of shit to sell. So what's going to happen is you're going to have to sell PlayStation. Then you have nothing else. So my suggestion is make your other shit work. Make it work before it's too fucking late. Deuces.